What is up, my fellow gamers out there? I decided that today I'm going to take a trip down on memory lane again, and I would like to make this video a bit of like a conversation between you and me. First of all, I would like to ask you to imagine that you are 12, 14 years old again and you are back in the 80s or in the 90s, the best time of your childhood. And you are enjoying your gaming, you have your gaming console, whatever that gaming console is, could be an NES or a Master System or Genesis or an SNES or maybe a PS1. If you have it, imagine it, okay. And now, I would like to ask you to imagine it that back then you have this device. This is the Anbernic RG40XXH, but it could be anything. It could be the newest Retroid packet or any kind of this retro gaming console. And just imagine it for a moment that you had this device and all of the games, all of the system which you would like to have, but you not have money for it, or even just it for most of us it wasn't be a possibility to have all of the consoles which you wanted. So how this would be? This would be an excellent excellent thing that, oh my god, I have all of the games which I wanted, I could play anything. Or it would ruin everything. Well, I was thinking the former, like that would have this kind of device, it would be an excellent thing, because I could take anywhere with me. I could, okay, probably if we stay technical, I wouldn't be able to hook up to my old CRT TV in my parents' living room, because this thing has mini HDMI and those things haven't had the HDMI outputs. But just let's say that I could play it in handheld. It would be fantastic. Well, I had this conversation with my childhood friend who we spent a lot of summers together, and we have really nice memories, and I'm sure that you have very similar memories, even if we don't know each other, but I'm sure that we have very similar experiences. I remember that we were having a beer and I told him about this idea, and what he told me, it was really interesting to think about. He told me that, yeah, that would be cool to have this device with us and we could play anything, Genesis, SNES, whatever, but we wouldn't have those memories what we have now. And that really stuck in my head, that yes, those summers when we just went to a video game store to the other side of the city because that was the cheapest video game store, and we took our SNES cartridges or Sega Saturn or PS1 discs to exchange it. And we went through the city. It was really hot, it was a dry summer, and we not even knew what is going to be in the store, because we just expected that we're going to find something cool. So yeah, we went and we discussed all the way throughout our way to the store about what we're going to find. And once we be in the store, I remember it was a really small store. It was like just really tiny. If you don't imagine it like a Blockbuster or anything, no, it was a very small store, and the shelves was full with cartridges. And I still remember the scent of the store. It had like all of these paper boxes and the plastic. It was a really memorable scent, which I still remember it. And the guy who was the shop owner was sitting behind the counter, and I remember we entered, and as soon as we entered there was this kind of magic moment when we look around and we seen games which we couldn't afford, or games for systems which we not even had, and we knew that we not going to have for a long time because we hadn't had money for those systems. But this kind of magical atmosphere, this already was around us, and we went to that shelf where those games were which we would be interested in, and we pointed, look, there is the game, and oh, let's check it out. And this is the thing, that back then you couldn't check YouTube review videos, and you couldn't check blogs like how the game is, you couldn't check gameplay, nothing. What you had is the cover. You took the cover from the shelf, you just turned around, and you seen that, alright, it had 3 screenshots, that's it. It had 3 screenshots, a text, some flavor text, and that's it. And that was your time to decide it's going to be a good game or it's going to be a bad game. And if you decided that, okay, I'm going to take it, you take it home, and on your way back you were already excited, like, oh, I hope how is going to be a good game, or how is going to play, and what your experience is going to be. And once you went home, you just put the cartridge into the system, or the CD into the disc reader. You start it up, and you were excited for a new experience because you never seen the game before. Just those screenshots, or maybe some photos in the video game magazine and an article. You started to play it, and that was the time when it was decided that your your next week, or your time by the time you're going to get a new game is ruined, or it's going to be a good experience. Because that's the thing, that if it was a bad choice, you stuck with it, you had to play it. And I remember that we had a few games like that we stuck with it, and we played it because we didn't have any other choice. But at the same time, we had really good, memorable games, like on the Sega Saturn, Daytona USA, 3 tracks, but we played those 3 tracks all summer long. And the first Wipeout, Alien Trilogy, so many memorable games, and even SNES, I could tell all day, all night about all these fantastic memories. And nowadays it's completely different, because now I don't even have to leave my house. I just go on any kind of digital storefront, Steam, Epic Games, PS Store, and any kind of game, and I can check gameplay review, I can download demos, I could play anything what I want, basically. And the thing is that it's really hard to say that things are lost its magic, or things are better now. I think in a way it's better, but I don't know if younger guys are going to have the same experience as we did, like older folks who grew up in the 80s and the 90s, because nowadays online gaming is much more easier than ever been. Anybody can play from their phone a lot of games for free. You can play online games on your computer or your consoles, which was not available when we were kids. When we were kids, we had to get around, and we had to play together, sharing a controller, or there was a split screen options we could play with 2 controllers. But that was a different time, and it had a kind of magic because the person was sitting next to you. And that's why I'm still enjoying those times when I'm visiting my childhood friend, and we spend the day and we are playing some modern game on PS4 or something, because that is a completely different to just sit next to each other, crack some jokes, and yeah. And I know that yes, when you're playing online, you can wear a headset, or even I think you can see each other through the camera, but that's a different kind of experience. So yes, that's a difficult decision, which one is better or worse. I don't want to say that any of them was better or not. I think it takes a lot. It comes a lot with a nostalgia factor, and that's why I think that those memories from our childhood was better. And this thing would probably, this thing would probably ruin it. But it's really difficult to say, but I would say it would ruin it. But now, thanks to this, I have a massive backlog, and I don't know how long it's going to take to finish this backlog quest, but I have all the time to make these videos and make these reviews, so I'm not in a hurry. But I'm really interested in your opinion. What kind of memories you had as a kid, and what do you think? Is there was any kind of older times were better, or the modern times are better, or it's just completely different and you cannot even compare it? And I made a video about the backlogs, the modern gaming phenomenon on the backlogs. I'm going to put a link up here. Check that one out, because I'm going to talk about why the modern gaming backlog is a curse and a blessing at the same time. And I hope you enjoyed this little video about the golden age of gaming and gaming together. And I'm going to see you in the next backlog quest video. Bye bye.